It'll be a milestone night in Montreal if number 29 can put up point number 1,000. We get you set for the Oilers of the Canadiens on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Good evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Actually, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're doing well. The sun's kind of starting to go down. We're getting set for another 5 o'clock game, our time. The Oilers in Montreal to take on the Canadiens to close out the season series. An exciting game in Edmonton back on October 23rd, 6-5. They won. We'll see if they can get the series sweep in Montreal. Tom Gazzola, Ben Thomson with you. Matt Kassian is our game analyst. He'll be joining us in a couple of minutes. We'll also be joined by JF Chaumont, good friend and excellent reporter covering the Habs for lnash.com, a.k.a. FrenchNHL.com.
There you go.
Yeah. And JF, when I met him, was with La Presse. And he made the jump. Actually, you know what the NHL did? They went out and they hired some of the best reporters, writers in the league.
Really?
They're like, screw it. We're going to bolster our website.
Yeah.
We're going to get the best of the best in every market. And I respect that. And JF is excellent. So he'll give us the scoop on the Habs. Both teams having played yesterday. Montreal was at MSG. They lost in overtime. The Oilers with a nice win in Toronto. A rare victory in Toronto. A big night for a bunch of guys. And we'll see if that can continue tonight as this road trip continues for the Orange and Blue. And yes, of course, will Leon Draisaitl get his 1,000th point? I think the answer is probably yes. Mm-hmm. And I think it's better too, Benny, to get it in Montreal than Toronto.
Yeah. Well,
there's more prestige, in my opinion, when it comes to hockey in Montreal.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Toronto has a rich history of hockey.
But when you think of history of hockey, it's Montreal.
It's the best there.
It's like it's the mecca of hockey history.
I'm glad you recognize that.
Yeah. That's
as a young hockey fan.
I mean, most Stanley Cups
and broadcaster.
Thank you. Most Stanley Cups records. I mean, the whole deal. Like it's Toronto's probably the biggest hockey market now. But I mean, yeah, they don't have the history like Montreal does. No one does.
You go to the Bell Center, and you can still go to the Forum. They've turned it into kind of a mall with some restaurants. There's a little museum portion to it. But you get into the Bell Center, and you look up, and the only banners that hang there, Stanley Cup banners.
Yep.
And then they have like the Hall of Fame guys that are on the wall. There's retired numbers, but I remember a guy the guy that worked there is like, "Hey, first time to Montreal," and I was like, "Yep, it was."
Yep.
And he goes, "Do you notice the rafters?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Only Stanley Cups.
They don't take Eastern Conference champions.
They don't care about the Adams division."
Well, how many they got now? 24.
24.
Like. Yeah, it would hard to be to add Eastern Conference final or winners. To those 24 banners is a lot of banners.
Yeah, well, North Division champions too, of course.
I guess. Yeah.
Well, they weren't the best team in the North Division. They came out of the North Division to win the Clarence Campbell Bowl, which is weird, but at the same time, like the Leafs were in the Western Conference. I was going to ask you about that. Did you know the Leafs were in the Western Conference for a long time?
No.
Yeah.
The only team I know,
90s,
the only
late
team
90s.
The only team I know that was like in the Western Conference that's now in the East was Detroit. Yep. That's the only one I know because I know Crosby played Detroit in the Stanley Cup final back-to-back years.
I think Columbus was at one time as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Why?
Because there just wasn't enough teams. There's so many teams in a small area out east.
So they had to pick one guy.
And then when they started expanding west, there was only a few teams out west. So the Western Conference started in the Eastern time zone.
I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But now it's grown. It's a big league now.
That's got to be like rough. That had to have been rough travel for Detroit. Like, if you're a Western Conference team and you're living out, you're like right beside Toronto and the whole place is like, kind of sucks.
But the logistics sucked. Same with the Leafs and
it's figured out now.
Jackets. Yeah, I think the Jackets were in there for a while. Anyway, GCL Diesel, by the way, presenting sponsors of this show. Providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to ejectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Please text us, 780-218-9999. Jump into the nasty chat as well as we roll along here and get you set for the Oilers and the Canadiens. One of 6 games on the schedule. The Oil now 15-11-6. Montreal at 16-11-4. This is another opportunity for the Oilers to potentially have a winning streak for the first time this season. Edmonton, 4-0-1 in its last 5. Pretty good. Pretty good. But here we go. Don't blow it.
This is your chance.
Don't blow it. Great opportunity.
Pretty good. Pretty damn good opportunity.
Pretty good. Habs are a better team. Habs are a better team than the Leafs. Although the Leafs have been playing better.
Yep.
But a pretty good opportunity. All right. Let's jump into the lineups. This is what we're anticipating. We'll let you know when warm-ups commence at Bell Center. If there's any tweaks or anything new to the lineup, but McDavid with Nugent Hopkins and Hyman, Draisaitl between Podkolzin and Savoy, Henrique with Frederic and Janmark Lazar between Mangiapane and Tomashek. On defense, Ekholm with Bouchard, Nurse with Regula, Stasny with Emberson. We'll see if Max Jones is inserted into the lineup tonight, or Riley Stillman, who was also recalled from Bakersfield. As for the Canadiens, this is how they skated yesterday in New York in that loss in OT. Suzuki between Caulfield and Bolduc. Oliver Kapanen with Yuri Slafkovsky and Ivan Demidov. Owen Beck between Josh Anderson and Alexander Texier. Joe Veleno with Jake Evans and Brendan Gallagher. Mike Matheson paired up with Alexander Carrier. Lane Hudson with Noah Dobson. Arbor Xhekaj with Adam Engstrom. We'll see if they have any tweaks to their lineup as well. Your starting goalies, we know Calvin Pickard is starting. The 33-year-old 3-3-2 this season, 4-0-4 goals against average, .851 save percentage in the 10 games he's played this season. His lifetime numbers versus the Habs, a 3-5-0 mark, a .298 goals against average, an .897 save percentage, and 1 shutout in 8 appearances versus the Canadiens over the course of Pickard's career. And then at the other end of the ice, we're anticipating 24-year-old Jakub Dobish, who's 10-5-2 with a .315 goals against average, .887 save percentage in 17 games this season. If Dobish does indeed get the start, he will face Edmonton for the first time in his career. That takes us to the Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy Injury Report. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You have a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today at www.advantagesportmed.ca or call 780-460-9977. For the Oilers, Jack Roslovic, IR, undisclosed. Jake Wallman, LTIR, undisclosed. Noah Philp, LTIR, upper body. Kasperi Kapanen, LTIR, knee. Connor Clattenburg, IR, upper body. Took that nasty high stick last week. Earlier in the week. Yeah. And he should be good to go soon. As for the Canadiens, some significant injuries for sure. Kirby Dach, IR foot. Patrick Laine, IR abdomen. Alex Newhook, IR ankle. Caden Gooley, IR torn abductor. Gooley's good young defenseman. Actually, they have a lot of good young players. Kirby Dach, he's up, sidelined with a lot of injuries. Fort Saskatchewan product. Laine's been hurt a lot, and then Newhook's a pretty good player as well. Let's take a dip into the chat, see what's going on. Let's go to Hontorio Mums. What's up, Hontorio Mums? Says, boys, nothing beats the Oilers beating the Leafs. Hockey Night in Canada going on and listening to all those post games. The Oilers destroyed the Flames post playoffs. They destroyed the Canucks post playoffs, and they may have destroyed the Leafs without even playing them in the playoffs. The Kings just come back asking for another. That's Hontorio Mums with that one. And nasty chat's nice and calm today. Looks like it's nice and calm.
Well, nothing to be mad about yet.
Not yet.
Give it a little bit.
Yep. It's late afternoon. Day's still relatively young. Not yet. Good point.
My question of the night is pretty fun.
Get Cass in here and let's go. Question of the night. I like that. Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's all good. I'm gonna say this. Leon Draisaitl is getting 1,000 points tonight. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
How does he do it? I'm still, we talked about this a little bit last night, but I want to bring it to this show today. How does Leon Draisaitl get his 1,000 point? Let us know.
Text us 780-218-9999 and jump into the nasty chat. And I'm glad because that's a great segue as we welcome in our game analyst, Matt Kassian, for Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, consistent, top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He's community-driven, and he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Please check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Cass, let's dive right into it. Benny's question of the night goes into point number 1, and that is $9.99. Good to see you, sir.
Yeah, how does he do it? Well, I think he does it. Listen, guys, it has to be that power play one-timer, doesn't it? Doesn't it have to be that?
Yeah.
That would be the best. Option number 2, if it's not that, I would take a backhand sauce somewhere. Like a 2-on-1 backhand sauce or something, that would be awesome too. But I hope it's that one-timer. That power play one-timer from his little spot, feet just below the goal line. That'd be awesome. I would love that. That'd be great for a point 1,000. And what 1,000 points it'd be. I mean, I after watching his first year in the league, I thought there's a heck of a player here, but I do not think I anticipated he was going to be nearly as good as he has been. Mm-hmm. To morph into one of the top 10. Like if you would have asked me then, I would have said, yeah, he's going to be a really good player. He's going to be a second line center for sure. I don't think I would have pegged him as being one of the top 10 players in the league. And it's probably where he falls right now. So pretty unbelievable for the great German just to be on the cusp of a unbelievable milestone of 1,000 points. So how could we not talk about it? But Benny, what's your answer? Because I haven't heard it yet. What's your answer to the question? How do you think it happens?
I said it last night. Leon Draisaitl, rockstar zone. He misses the net. It hits off Mike Matheson's ass and in.
That is oddly descriptive and weird.
That's just my prediction.
Oh, okay. He should score it. Like it would be fitting to score a goal for his 1,000 point.
Yes.
He's
in a typical, I would love to see Nuge hit McDavid and it goes cross crease for the Rockstar zone one time. That to me that's the perfect Draisaitl goal.
Yeah. Now, I think he'll score it. I will. And in Montreal, great stage for that. Honestly, maybe the best in hockey as a stage to get your 1,000 point. If you're not going to be able to do it at home on a packed night. In the building on a weekend, everybody watching.
The benches will clear, right? They did it for Connor.
For 1,000? Probably not.
No? Did they not do it for Connor?
The Oilers might clear the bench.
Maybe they will. Maybe the Oilers will.
I think they did it for Connor. Let me think.
If I was the Habs, I'd be pissed off. You don't want to get scored on. Were you on the ice or in a game for a guy's 1,000 point? No.
Nope, I was not.
No. I mean, when Connor did it here, it was, against Nashville on a goal set up by Draisaitl. And it was, that was home ice, so they came off to celebrate. But I think they could do it here. We'll see. I guess we'll see. $9.99. What say you? I see a bunch of people that are saying, Cass, stop yelling at them. We got that sorted out.
We got that sorted. I hope.
Yes. Why are you?
It's good. It's good now.
Quaddy said, why are you yelling, Cass? Turn it down.
Yelling all the time. I just can't wait.
You're passionate.
I can't wait till I get to yell at people that all of a sudden start freaking out about Jari now. I mean, it's going to be the same thing. So
yes. We have a lot to get to, by the way, because it was Gager that was on in for you last night. Zedmo says the 1,000 point will come from Connor. Quaddy says Leon 1,000 in the office on the power play from 97 and 2. Let's see. Casino Dealer J says, I'm hoping that Draisaitl gets 1,000 point on the power play. A one-timer from McDavid would be ideal. It will probably be a second assist, though, to Podkolzin and then rebound out to a defenseman. Rip City Step says, sets up top 6 pods. I love
Podzilla.
it. Podzilla. I like it. Also says assist for a beautiful top 6 pods garbage goal. You know what? I like that garbage goal by Podkolzin last night.
Yep. It's what the Oilers needed.
Yeah.
That's been a thing they've lacked for however long. And Gager said it last night too. It's like Hyman's such a great player to idolize and to learn off of because to be honest, Zach Hyman doesn't have a whole lot of talent. Like there's the McDavid and Draisaitls of the world. Hyman doesn't have that level of talent, but what he does have is like one of the hardest work ethics in the NHL, and he is willing to go anywhere on the ice. Pod Colson has very similar traits to that and similar type of build. So he can really benefit off playing a Hyman style, which he did last night.
But didn't we have this discussion? I want to know what Cass thinks about it. Is Pod Colson like a Hyman light, or is that not a fair comparison?
I don't know if that's fair. I don't know.
That was my reaction initially. Then the more I thought about it, I was like, I get it though.
Light though, because it is. I get it too. I get it too because he kind of. There is a similarity to some of the play styles there, like where wants to go in the corners in front of the net, have goals bank off them, try to clean up garbage around the net, willing to hit, willing to fight, kind of just, not that Hyman has to fight, but just kind of, in the mix all the time.
Yeah.
So I understand it. It just feels like he doesn't have that same level of talent. And maybe that's just because we've seen Hyman have a 50-goal season. And Pod Colson is playing really well right now, but we haven't seen anything close to that upper ceiling that we've seen with Zach Hyman. And that may come. It may. But I don't know. I'm not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. However,
that's fair.
I wouldn't get upset with somebody for making that comparison.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting. It definitely is interesting. All right, let's go to point number 2 here on Game Changers with Matt Kassian, our game analyst. Point number 2 is short shifts, Cass.
Yeah, well, back-to-backs here. The Oilers now being, I don't want to say the victims of the schedule, but and it's not like it's long travel here, but you are playing back-to-back games. Now, I do think the benefit of one of the benefits, aside from getting the 2 points, but one of the benefits of how they played that game and how well they played, especially late in that game against the Toronto Maple Leafs, is they were able to distribute some of that ice time a little bit more liberally between everybody, where, Hyman was only a shade over 18 minutes. Now, Draisaitl does end up with 21:08, but McDavid, on the flip side, 19:42. So you had some balance to the amount of time that players were on the ice. And in a back-to-back, that's important. The Edmonton Oilers have caught a couple of teams the last few weeks, and even inside the last week and a half on those short turnarounds. Now it's the Oilers' turn, right? I mean, this is 3 games in 4 nights for the Edmonton Oilers. Like that's a lot of hockey, and it's 3 games in 4 nights in a different time zone. One of the games in a different time zone, so you have travel. So 3 games, 4 nights, plus long travel. Going from Edmonton to Toronto, it's not like it's horrible, awful, but it does make a difference on your body, your time clock, circadian rhythms, and everything. So important tonight that the Edmonton Oilers are managing their shifts, managing their energy. They did a fantastic job of just sticking to the game plan against the Toronto Maple Leafs last night, and you want to see that carry forward in today. And I think the more that you can be opportunistic with managing, not trying to squeeze too much out of too many shifts. Like on occasion, yes, you're going to extend a little bit. Maybe you have possession. Maybe there's opportunity. But for the top guys in particular, it's going to be about, okay, well, we want to make sure that everybody's involved in this game, because it's not the type of game in a back-to-back on a Sunday with travel. It's not the time to take the minute and a half shift to try to say, hey, I'm just going to do something here. Like let's lock these things down a little bit. And I think that goes a long way to helping you if you're Edmonton Oilers winning a hockey game. Just manage those shifts and those shift times.
Fair enough. All right. I like this. K-Town just texted in via the inbox 780-218-9999. It segues nicely from what we were saying earlier and the question of the night and how we started this segment into point number 3 with Cass, because K-Town says Draisaitl assists on a Regula point shot and they split the puck in half. That's Josh from K-Town, and that's fitting because Cass's third point on Game Changers was the rise of Regula.
Yeah, well, you kind of have to now, and I know there's a lot we haven't unpacked because we haven't talked since the Skinner and Kulak trade.
Yes,
a lot to unpack. But even yesterday, after the trade, I think there's a couple games he played some more minutes, I think against Winnipeg and against Dallas earlier in the year. Yeah. But close to the most minutes that we've seen Alex Regula play. Now, part of that is the team was playing well when he was out there, ends up having a great night from a point standpoint, gets his first assist in the NHL, and ends up +3. Was on the ice for some production and looked pretty good out there. But he's got to continue this. I mean, is he going to be the new Darnell Nurse whisperer? I don't know. I don't know that yet. But regardless of how you feel about Regula and how he has played the season so far and the things he's done well, which at times he's been very good from a skating, moving the puck standpoint. At times he's been a little bit out of place and looked out of rhythm at times. And there was a time when he was hurt too. So there's been a couple seasons inside of Regula's season. And at this point, a lot is going to be asked of him. A lot is going to be asked of him from a minute standpoint. Like if he's the guy and it looks like they're thinking that he's going to be the guy that's going to eat the lion's share of minutes until Wallman comes back, he just becomes a sort of linchpin for that defensive group. Like it's the importance of Alex Regula's quality of play right now, I don't think can be understated. Like he is incredibly important to the success of this team because like you don't have like who else are you going to play here right now? Like for
Riley
those
Stillman.
minutes, like
I'm being facetious.
Yeah, like there's not really anybody there. And yesterday he outplayed Ekholm, outplayed Stastny, outplayed Emberson. So he ends up fourth in terms of minutes on the team too. So just the second that you traded Kulak, you had a hole in that right side or left side, depending on what side Kulak was going to play, because he did play both at times. But you depleted the defense a little bit more from a veteran presence standpoint. 100%. And not that Kulak was having a spectacular season. He wasn't. But now Regula has to have one. He has to have a spectacular season up until you either, have a fully recovered Wallman who can eat up some minutes and play really well, or you make another trade and bring somebody else in. Like, guys, Regula's, this is a golden opportunity for this young man who hasn't had a lot of games in the NHL to make a stamp on a season where, a lot now is going to be asked of him.
Alec Regula has played 40 NHL games.
Yeah. And just a quick point, I noticed yesterday that so usually when Knobloch throws Connor's line out there, he usually pairs them with Bouchard and Ekholm. Mm-hmm. Yesterday I noticed that they left the Bouchard line for Draisaitl and they gave Regula and Nurse to Connor's line. That's what I picked up on yesterday. Like ozone starts, Regula was out there with Connor's line, which to me is a look at the trust for Regula.
Well, so here's what's going to be the brainworm for you, Benny, right now. Is it a vote for trust for Regula, or is it because he knew Connor's line was buzzing?
Yeah, that is true. Right.
It's like, because if McDavid is, and he did in a lot of ways that game, like if McDavid is being like, no, I'm winning this hockey game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter who's back there.
It doesn't matter who's back there. It does. Yes. It still does matter who's back there. I don't want to say it doesn't at all, but you're like, okay, hey, if McDavid's absolutely flying here and it's like, and nobody, because Connor has those nights and Toronto was one of them. So, well, maybe a little bit of both too.
Yep.
Nice. The rise of Regula. That is Game Changers with our game analyst, Matt Kassian, $9.99 short shifts and the rise of Regula. And we need to unpack some things. Let us know your thoughts. 780-218-9999. Jump into the nasty chat as well. We want to hear from you. All right. So they make this significant trade. Jari comes in, gets the win last night. Spencer Stastny got a thumbs up from generally everybody in oil country. Cass, we've had a couple days now since the news broke, and one game has been played. What do you gather? What are some of the thoughts that you've had so far since this all went down a few days ago?
He doesn't want to do it.
He doesn't want. He's just going to walk over.
All right,
Okay.
all right, sounds good, Cass.
That's fine. Yeah, sure, Cass. See you later. Hattori Moms chiming back in on the text line says, Bowman set up a pretty interesting environment with essentially a fresh coaching staff, whole bunch of fresh new young players to figure it out. Oilers as an organization should use the Skinner trade as a big page flip. All right, Cass is back. Unpack it before you cut out.
Oh, there's a lot to unpack.
Go for it. So floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, well, I like the Stastny trade. We'll just start with that, touch on that. Regardless of regardless of the Skinner trade, I like that trade. I think from a younger defenseman, good trade. Like that. like bringing him in. Definitely an NHL player from a Nashville team that is struggling.
That bad.
The Jarry trade is like, there's so much of a, we're going to have to see here. Mm-hmm. We're going to have to see.
Yes.
And we don't know after one game which way it's going to go.
Great start.
Well, from the team played well.
That's what I mean.
Great start from the team. His metrics. Yeah, his metrics weren't any better. I mean, he had an 893. Right? Like,
well, we all know how well that would go over with some other goaltenders.
We have his, high danger metrics, which weren't any better than Skinner's. So he, like, statistically, now it's just statistically, and it's just one game, so we don't know. But statistically, it's like he wasn't any better. It's not like he broke that game and stole them a game, his first game in net. Mm-hmm. Now, was he steady? Yes. Was he fine? Yes. Does that third goal not really mean anything at that point in the game? Yes. Doesn't really mean anything. The Oilers were so well in hand. It's like, it just, it sucks for his stats, but beyond that, whatever. Mm-hmm. Yes. So it's way too early to tell. My fear is that you just moved laterally. So you didn't get a goalie that's going to make you markedly, because, and this is, I had a conversation with someone at church about this today, where I was like, this is what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of him being like, if a goalie would have been coming in here, that I'm like, without question, 100%, like absolutely certain is an upgrade, and we had to move Brett Kulak to make it work, then I'm like, great, okay. But is Jarry 100% without question, absolutely certain an upgrade? I don't know. He could be. Maybe. Guy has 6 playoff games under his belt.
Yeah.
So, and he's had his struggles the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. And yes, he's having a good season, but so are the Pittsburgh Penguins. And so I'm just kind of like, do I hope that it could be the difference? Yeah, for sure. But you just depleted your defensive core of a guy who 2 years ago was your best defenseman in the playoffs, arguably. Last year was maybe your second best defenseman in the playoffs, arguably, after Evan Bouchard. And he's not here anymore. And you had him, by the way, on an absolute bargain deal for Kulak in terms of cost to what he was actually giving you. Mm-hmm. And yes, he wasn't having a fantastic season, but now you have a hole to fill on defense. And we talked about Regula, and he might step up, and hopefully he does. But I kind of look at this and go, that was expensive, guys. Mm-hmm. And even from a draft pick standpoint, like, that was expensive.
Yep.
And it's for a guy where I'm like, again, like, am I hopeful he's going to be a clear improvement? Yes, I'm hopeful for that. And if he is, then I will give praise to Bowman for making that move and for pulling the trigger on it. But to me, it's just like, they didn't clear cut get that much better in net. And you depleted your defense a little bit, where you're one injury away from being like, who the heck do we play on that right side? So I have such mixed feelings on it and yes, we have to see what happens. But I will tell you, much more on the side of, and I know people, and I haven't looked at the nasty yet, people are probably, the usuals or being the usuals, but I just go like, how much did you pay to maybe improve? And if you're looking at this and saying like, now there's an element to it too, which I understand of a mental reset switch for the team.
Yeah.
There's an element of that.
Yeah.
And I understand that to say, hey, Stuart Skinner was there. He had his moments. He kind of got us, he helped get us there or got us there. But he couldn't quite seal the deal in the playoffs, and has had some struggles, and the team has had some struggles at the start of the year. So we need to do something to switch it up still. And this is just something that we could do. And it's like, okay, well, I understand there's maybe that factors into it, but guys, I know this is me monologuing, but I'm nervous about it. And it's not just because I'm like, ooh, I just love Stuart Skinner so much. It's because you paid a heavy, heavy price for a maybe get a little bit better, but we don't know with certainty that we're better, right? Like if you if you traded Skinner and 3 picks and Kulak and you brought in Hellebuck, right? Or you brought, like, you traded Skinner and Kulak and a pick or 2 picks to Calgary for Wolf right now. Like, where I'd be like, okay, all right. We could look at it and we could say, hey, we know we just got way better in net. But did we? I don't know. Hopefully. So I don't know. I'm still unpacking it. And I feel like this is one that we won't truly be able to, like, it's going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah.
It's going to take a little bit. I mean, this is not like the Minnesota Wild getting Quinn Hughes where it's just like, they got better.
Hello.
Right? Like, it's not that blatant where it's like, oh yeah, their power play just got even better. It's not that blatant. So it's a tricky one, guys. And I have mixed feelings on it.
Understandable. And we're going to need some time and some games to really see this one. But yes, at the outset, it is a heavy price to pay. And that I'm with you on.
Yeah.
100%. All right, we have a minute before we bring on JF Chaumont. And Leon's body language is texting in and wants to know, Cass, is the Montreal forecheck going to be tougher on these newer defensemen? I know they aren't exactly Florida, but all are young and fast.
Yeah, it's we could have talked about that too, and we didn't. Like, Montreal's a fast team. Now they are banged up as you went through their injury report. Like, they're pretty banged up, some of their players right now. But yes, that is Edmonton. If Montreal plays well and Edmonton struggles tonight, it will be because of the pressure of the St. Louis Blues, of the I was thinking Martin St. Louis and Martin St. Louis.
Yeah,
Montreal
I know
Canadiens.
exactly what you mean.
It's
the Montreal Canadiens.
I know, but it was the St. Louis, the coach, and he has them playing that up-tempo, aggressive style, which is quite fun. I think this team is going to be a fun team for a little while, the Montreal Canadiens, and a very good team as they continue to improve. That's going to be the issue. If Edmonton struggles tonight, it will be that defensive pressure.
Yeah, you're right. Montreal Canadiens head coach Martin St. Louis Blues. He's really good. That was a bad joke. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy. Good to have you back on. Good stuff on Game Changers. We'll see you on the post-game show, okay?
Sounds good, guys.
There you go. There's Matt Kassian, our game analyst with Game Changers, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting now with The Agency. Yeah. All right, 780-218-9999. If you want to have your say, want to hear from you. Stupid Peter texts us, says, guys, I'm not sure how much longer the team can ignore Quinn Hutson. I don't think he's some sort of missing piece, but the way he's playing should deserve a look here, especially with how some of the guys in the bottom 6 are playing. Yeah, Stupid Peter, I'm not denying that. Like, he's been outstanding. He's been on fire offensively. Pretty good in his first season as a pro, so I would assume it warrants him getting another look with the big club, and hopefully he continues to play really well and put up big numbers. How it fits in, when is the time right? How would they play him when they call him up? I think it might be situational, but I mean, you can't deny what Quinn Hutson is doing down in Bakersfield. And go, no, can't call him up. It's not like a Seth Griffith, who's just a veteran guy, really good AHL player, has been called up at times, has played in the NHL in seasons past. With Quinn Hutson, I think Stupid Peter is right. Like, you'll probably get his look, just situational. Yeah. And Ike Howard's down there playing well too. Which one do you call up? The guy that you made a big trade for, or the guy that you signed, and you really like what he's doing? It's a good problem to have. All right. Keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. Jump into the nasty chat if you're watching over on YouTube. Our good friend JF Chaumont is with us from lnash.com, a.k.a. FrenchNHL.com. JF, salut, bonjour. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine. What about you, Tim?
I'm always doing good. I wish I was in Montreal, and I wish I was at the Bell Center tonight, but unfortunately, we don't have much of a travel budget at Edmonton Sports Talk. So we get to talk to you over the phone, which is always fantastic. How you been doing?
I'm doing fine. The Habs are on the ice right now with the Oilers. It's the warm-up time. We finally know who's the starting goaltender for Montreal. That was a big question today. And it's going to be Jakub Dobesh against Calvin Pickard, with Samuel Montembeault being the backup for tonight's game against the Edmonton Oilers.
JF, I love that you brought that up, and I saw it was a late confirmation that Dobish was getting the start. How has Dobish been playing? What the hell is going on with Montembeault? And then I know they have 3 goalies up right now. Give us the best explanation you can about the Montreal Canadiens goalie situation.
I know you are used to talk about goalies in Edmonton.
A little bit.
We are probably living the same reality this year in Montreal. Jakub Dobish was the 3rd star of the league in October, not for the rookie. 3rd star of the league in the month of October. He was playing great. He was stopping everything. And since the start of November, Dobish is having a ton of problems. And it's the same story for Samuel Montembeault. Montembeault last year, it was quite a story. First time for him reaching 30 wins, playing for Team Canada for the 4 Nations as the 3rd goalie of the Canadian team, hoping to be part of the Olympics this year. And this season, it's 3.65 and a save percentage of 8.57.
Yikes.
And for Dobish, it's 8.87 with a goalie average of 3.15. So goaltenders are not doing the job. This is why they decide to call up Jacob Fowler, who's the greatest prospects for the Avs as a goalie. Fowler played in Pittsburgh, got his first win against Sidney Crosby, played last night at the MSG in New York, in losing scenario, 5-4. And something came up during the last game that it's not only the fault of the goaltender. You need to have a good defense. So it's back to square one probably. Who's going to be net? Who's going to be the savior for that team? So maybe the savior is not 21 years old. Maybe it's not Jacob Fowler, but probably for him, like at this age, he needs to play.
Yep.
So if it's not in Montreal, he'll go back with Laval in the American Hockey League.
JF, you know what's crazy is like there was a stat, I can't remember if it was like NHL media or the NHL account on Twitter or Instagram, but they had great goalies in Habs history, and it was Ken Dryden, Patrick Waugh, Carey Price, and then Jacob Fowler. I was like, whoa.
So if you want to add a little bit of pressure, the stat is like first win in the NHL for Carey Price, first start for Carey Price, it was against the Penguins in Pittsburgh. First start for Patrick Roy, it was against Pittsburgh. And the first start of Ken Dryden, it was also against Pittsburgh. So it was the same story for Jacob Fowler. And as a young kid, he was a fan of the Penguins. Sidney Crosby was his idol growing up with Marc-André Fleury. So for him, it was quite a story to be the starter against the Penguins. He played well. He played really well for his first game. Last night, it was a little bit harder for him against the New York Rangers. But again, 2 times they gave up 2 quick goals for the Habs. And defensively, it's a team who can be shaky a little bit. They miss Kaden Guhle a ton. So without Guhle, you're losing a good top 4 defenseman in the NHL, and you're asking Jayden Struble or Arbor Xhekaj to be playing a higher role, and they might not be ready for that type of challenge.
First of all, that is a crazy stat about winning in Pittsburgh, being the first star with all those goaltenders. Maybe there's something to that, some Montreal magic there with the Habs. And then I'm glad you brought up the defense. Obviously, we know Kaden Guhle well here in Edmonton. What is the situation? Is there going to be a change in the lineup for the Habs, first of all, and then where have the struggles been coming from lately? Because I know the start was great, but where are we at?
They're still on the ice right now. They have dressed 7 defensemen for the warm up. I'm not sure yet who's going to be sitting on the press box. It's going to be between Struble, Xhekaj, and Adam Engstrom.
Okay.
Engstrom, he's a young kid being called up from Laval. It might be him. He played last night in Pittsburgh, but Guhle is the steady defenseman that it was playing a solid 22 minutes per game, playing penalty kill also. So they are missing him. They are asking Jayden Struble to be paired with Lane Hudson, playing top 4 minutes, and it's harder for Struble. So, the reality is probably the same story in Edmonton. When you're missing a key piece at the blue line, it's harder for everyone else.
Yep, exactly. JF Chaumont with us from lnh.com, a.k.a. NHL.com, as we get you set for the Oilers and the Canadiens. Okay, how about the young forwards? JF, because there's some great ones with this Habs team that a lot of people are excited about. How are they developing? Slavkovsky, Demidov, Kapanen. We know how good Caulfield is. We know how good Suzuki is. But where are we at with these young guys?
Slavkovsky, it's already its fourth season in NHL. He was a first pick overall, probably playing his best season so far in NHL. In terms of number, for a first pick overall, like 18 points in 31 games, 9 goals, 9 assists. It's nothing crazy, but it's the all-around game. He's playing a heavy game. He's good with forecheck. He's having a lot of body checks. He's creating some spaces for Caulfield and Suzuki when he's playing on the top line. But right now, past few games, he was skating on the left wing with Oliver Kapanen and Ivan Demidov. So Slavkovsky is playing the role of an older brother with the two kids. Demidov, it's crazy. Slavkovsky is 21 and he's the role of the older brother. Demidov is 19, ton of skills, fun to watch. Fifth pick overall a few years ago. He's coming to the NHL first full season with a lot of expectation in a city like Montreal, but he's not nervous. He's handling that pretty well. 24 points in 31 games. But one day he's going to be a guy of a point per game, I'm pretty sure, in the NHL. He's really, really good. And maybe the surprise, it's Oliver Kapanen.
Yeah.
Kapanen is playing as a second center with the Habs, so it's a big task for him, for a young kid. But Kapanen, 16 points, already 10 goals in 31 games. So for a rookie, he played a few games last year, but he's still considered a rookie in the NHL. So Kapanen in the role of a second center in Montreal, it's pretty good. You probably know that during the summer, fans in Montreal were dreaming about a big trade with Pittsburgh. Fans were dreaming about Sidney Crosby, maybe one day playing with the Habs jersey on. But it's good to dream, but it's not always the reality. Crosby is still in Pittsburgh, and you are dealing with Oliver Kapanen as the second center in Montreal.
Yeah, it shouldn't surprise you when I tell you that Oilers fans wanted Sidney Crosby to play with McDavid here. So
I'm not surprised. It's making sense. Probably the fans in Denver are saying the same thing.
Exactly.
Fans are hoping to see Crosby with McKinnon one day. But he's still the 87 for Pittsburgh. And if the Penguins are pushing for a playoff spot, I don't think Kyle Dubas will be asking Sidney if he wants to be living something different.
Agreed. JF, this is always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you so much for doing this. Enjoy the game. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Merci, mon ami.
I'll be taking a hot dog for you after the first period.
Of course. A Shea show, my favorite. I miss those.
Show.
Yeah.
See you soon, Tom. Bye-bye.
See you, JF. There you go. JF Showman, one of the best. Great information there. And one of my favorite people in the National Hockey League. Always a pleasure to have him on the pregame show. And good to see him whenever he is in town. All right, Benny Thomson, what did you make of what JF had to say there? Anything stand out to you? I mean, the Crosby stuff. I love how he just sprinkled that in.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we'll see. I found a pretty funny stat about the Jacob Fowler being like every single Canadian great goalie has played the Penguins in their first game. It goes out of Ken Dryden to Patrick Waugh to Carey Price, now to Jacob Fowler. I find that pretty funny, and obviously a lot of pressure you're putting on that kid because their goaltending situation has not been very good this year.
Yeah.
It was one of their strengths last year with Montembeault playing well, but now he's he's in a downward spiral right now. So, but yeah, it's pretty funny. I mean the Canadiens. You guys know I make jokes that they're my favorite team. I just love how they're built, but I've always thought that they needed a goalie, and Jacob Fowler might be the guy, but probably not now. But they've been struggling recently, and obviously they have some young talent that I think can explode on any given night. So obviously you can't take them lightly tonight. And I mean they're a good built roster. So I guess we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, well, Edmonton has had a lot of success against Montreal in recent years. That arena is fantastic. Obviously, we know Draisaitl's chasing down point number 1,000. I think he gets it. I had some stats I just want to throw out before. We're going to hear from Chris Knobloch right away here. We're going to get to the game day odds check brought to you by Play Alberta as well. But just here's some stats head-to-head Oilers Habs. So Edmonton's won 4 of the last 5 games against Montreal. Edmonton's won 4 of the last 6 visits to Montreal. And then Edmonton happens to also be 7-3 in the last 10 games against the Habs. Edmonton is 5-2-2 versus the Atlantic Division this season. Montreal 5-2 versus the Pacific. And just quickly, all time against Montreal, Edmonton has a 54-44-5 record with 4 ties. And then in Montreal, 22-20-5 with 4 ties, all happening in either the Montreal Forum or at Molson Center, which is now Bell Center. There you go. Little bit of history. But you're right, that Pittsburgh thing, it's like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Quite the stat and like kind of coincidence, but also
Yeah.
not. I wonder if Montreal knew that and they're like, you know what? He's our future goalie. Let's put him in the same thing. Maybe. I who knows? But
It's almost like
you can't script that any better.
I don't know. Maybe it lined up for Fowler to play that game perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just meant to be, Ben.
Yep.
No Fowler tonight. Jakob Dobish, as JF confirmed for us earlier in the segment. Okay, let's hear from Chris Knobloch. He just spoke about 45 minutes ago or so. So here's some fresh intel from the head coach.
Kelton Pickard's playing. Jones is coming in for Tommy, and everything else is about the same.
Okay. 0-2-3 in the second half of back-to-backs this year. What are you looking to do differently to make sure you guys come out, at least starting with that?
We have a game where both teams are playing back-to-back. I think a lot of our back-to-backs, we've been the one not fresh, so that obviously is a factor in it, but just keeping our game simple. And I think we was fortunate last game against Toronto. We had a lead, and a lot more guys had a little more ice time. We were able to use all 4 lines and not rely so much on our top 2 lines. But playing the back-to-back, really important that you're using everybody. The entire bench is important.
I want to ask about the big milestone. Can you maybe let us know if it's a conversation amongst the players? Leon Draisaitl 1 point away from 1,000.
Yeah, it's on our minds, and obviously it's a huge accomplishment. And I know the bench was very excited in the third period, 2-on-1 with Connor and himself, which would have been almost identical to the 1,000th point for Connor. And came up short, but hopefully we can get that out of the way and celebrate and enjoy it, but not an easy feat.
When you have something like that going on in a game, is it something that's maybe a coach can use because it's special, it's a long season, maybe this is a more fun night, or can it get in your way and can guys kind of focus on it too much?
I think everyone's excited about it, but we don't want to be a distraction thinking about how they can get Leon involved in a play where, maybe Puck Colson pass up a shot they should take because he wants to get Leon on the score sheet. And I think Leon's able to find his ways to generate his opportunities for that point. Hopefully it'd be nice to get that out of the way, but at some point it's going to happen, and it'd be special if Connor and Leon could be a part of it together, but I think any way it happens will be nice.
Lines are stay the same.
Lines are the same. Jones gets on the 4th line.
Today, by seeing Leon, that it's any different, that he's at 999 or 860?
Not at all. No, he's very stoic. He's very focused. Comes to the rink, goes through his routine, and you'd probably hardly tell that it's even on his mind or that he knows about it. But I think he'll probably enjoy it when it happens. You'll probably see some smiles on his face, but it doesn't matter what game it is. He's same preparation.
Chris, maybe just a quick comment on Alec Pregula. Got his first point in his uniform yesterday. How much have you seen his game grow since the beginning of the season?
Well, Alec had a great start to the season. Unfortunately, got hurt, missed a couple weeks, and then he had to start all over again. And that's not easy to do for a guy that didn't play any hockey last year. And I think overall, his game has been pretty good, and last game was his best. I think he's feeling more confident with the puck. He's making some nice passes on the breakouts. He always has been, but then last night showed a little more confidence and poise with the puck in the offensive zone, and was able to open up and using his legs to open up some lanes. So it was nice to see him get rewarded and finally get an assist, because I think he's made enough plays that that should have happened a while ago.
Your team was involved in a pretty important transaction Friday. How would you describe the reaction from the group after the transaction? Because I guess mixed feeling, losing two long-time teammates, but welcoming a new face. But what have you seen yesterday in the last 2 days from your group?
Yeah, it's tough. Those two players were very important for us, Skinner and Kulak. Good players who had a lot to do with us having success in the playoffs, and to see them leave us, not easy. But we felt we needed to make some kind of change and get more stability in the nets. We think Stuart Skinner was a great goalie, but we feel we've got even upgrade there. And, I think guys are excited about some change and having some improvements to our team. And, it was nice to see Tristan get the start that he did and played very well, and made some key saves the other night and ultimately got us the win. And you think of certain plays that the game could end up being a little bit different. They had a key power play in the Toronto did in the second period. He came up with some big saves there. End of the first period, they had a breakaway that he was able to stop. So anytime you see the goalie, especially a new guy coming in, making those plays, it gives the rest of the team a little boost.
To get back to Leon, it's something to go to 1,000 points. To do it maybe only 823 games. Is it adding to the value of that magic number?
Well, any player, first of all, who reaches 1,000 points is pretty remarkable. I'm not sure how many players have done it, but anybody who has been a pretty significant player. And then Leon being able to just put up the
All right, that was Chris Knobloch there. So Max Jones gets in for David Tomaszek. The rest of the lines stay the same. Calvin Pickard getting the nod between the pipes. For the Oil at the other end of the rink, it will be Jakub Dobesh for the Montreal Canadiens. Let's get to the game day odds check brought to you by Play Alberta. When you play in Alberta, it stays in Alberta. Safe and secure. The revenue generated from Play Alberta is redirected into Alberta's General Revenue Fund, which is used to support programs and services that Albertans rely on daily. Let's go EST Sports promo code. $50 deposit, $50 free bet. EST50 has been refreshed. $50 deposit for a $50 free bet. And then EST Casino. If you want to do a deposit of $50, that gets you a $50 casino bonus over on the casino side. All right, your money line for tonight over at Play Alberta has Edmonton at -137, the Habs at +116, the over-under set at 6.5, the over at -122, under at -108. Both teams playing yesterday, both teams having to travel back into Montreal. I think that could lend to some sloppiness.
Yep, 100%.
And maybe we see the weapons offensively take over, and we do get that over. I'd probably sprinkle the over. Now, I did sprinkle on one of our EST specials. It was the early bird bet. Oilers to win. McDavid 2+ points. Draisaitl 2+ points. It gets boosted. I think it was at +310. Put a $5 on there. Pay out $20.50.
I like it.
Let's see. Let's see what happens.
If
McDavid,
they're going to go off.
They're going to go. It's one of those nights.
Yeah.
The Magic in Montreal.
They're gonna push for Leon's.
I should have put the free bet on there.
Yeah, probably. Oh,
idiot!
I haven't used it yet.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I should have done.
Depositing.
Use your game sense.
I will. I will.
Anyway, so big thanks to the fine folks over at Play Alberta, presenting sponsor of Edmonton Sports Talk, and that is your game day odds check. We have a couple minutes left. You're going to do that right now?
Yep.
Attaboy.
Well, because I will be able to in 5 minutes.
Yeah, you have a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just checking the chat here. A couple people were texting towards Cass. Sorry I didn't get to those. We had to go from Cass right into JF pretty quickly. I see CJ in Chicago is in the chat. She was at the football game earlier. She was all bundled up. CJ, hope you're doing all right. Get yourself a nice social sparkler, warm up, and let's see if the Oilers can provide a little positivity to wrap up the weekend. Benny, final thoughts?
Yeah, let's see if they can string together their first 3-game winning streak of the year. I know it's pretty crazy to say right now.
To me, very important. Maybe it's
is.
Lost in the shuffle storyline wise.
Like, yeah, they've as much as I feel like their play has turned around over the past 2 weeks ish. They still haven't gotten that 3-game winning streak this year.
Yeah,
so, and we're past the 30-game mark.
Game 33 tonight.
So let's see if they can do it. They have a great opportunity. Both teams coming off a game last night. Montreal hasn't been as great recently. Oilers seem like they're trending up. This should be a win. They should be extra motivated with Draisaitl at 999. So let's see if they get it done tonight.
All right, awesome. Big thank you to JF Chaumont from lnash.com, FrenchNHL.com. For those wondering, going, what the hell are you talking about? Great stuff from him as always. And a big thank you to everybody who watched, everybody who listened. Shout out to the Nasties that came out last night, Boston Pizza 170th. We had a great time. Really good time. Lots of prizes given away. Tony Claus was in fine form. Great to be back down there. We are at Boston Pizza Clairview on the 16th. We're going to see Jason and Lisa, and that's an awesome spot as well. All right, enjoy the Oilers and the Habs, and I think we'll be talking about point number 1,000 for Leon Draisaitl when all is said and done. For Matt Kassian, for Ben Thomson, I am Thomas Lawrence Gazzola saying enjoy the game. We'll see you in a bit.